Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The cost of unresolved anger. Welcome to the Sacred Man Experience podcast. I am Imran Muhammad, aka the Pattern Interrupter. Anger is one of the most misunderstood emotions. In this podcast, in this series that I am doing upon different emotions, feelings, and what men go through, anger has come up a number of times. Because usually anger is the default of many men's emotional state. Every other emotion of sadness, of hurt, of loss is disregarded. And it defaults to what? Anger and frustration. So today, I want to express to you the cost of unresolved anger. The anger is from within. It's connected to something which is innate to you. Something that you know personally what has happened, what has occurred. You might have forgotten it. Must have been masked by something, but it's there somewhere and it needs to be resolved. But the thing is, because anger is misunderstood, many people fear it. Others try to justify it. But anger itself is not the enemy. Maybe that's the first time ever you've heard this, that anger itself is not the enemy. In fact, it's unresolved anger, which is the enemy. I've met men carrying anger from childhood, anger towards their parents, former partners, friends, employers, even themselves. Many years pass, yet the wound remains active. In fact, it becomes, for some men, the drive, the motivation, the fire in the belly to move forward. And most of the time, not positively, but negatively. I want to disprove the world. They didn't believe in me. Now, through the emotion of anger, I'm going to get my resolution and my resolve. From a psychological perspective, unresolved anger often masks deeper emotions. Emotions such as being hurt. Someone said something, someone mentioned something, you were bullied, you were belittled, you were dishonored. Your first love interest might have turned you down, but hurt. Disappointment, this anger that brews within the self. It could simply be unresolved disappointment. Disappointment that you've not achieved the goals that you wanted to. You've not gained the status and position and the fame and the money and the wealth that you decide to have in your life. Betrayal. This anger might have come from being betrayed. Someone betrayed you. Someone double-crossed you. Someone hurt you in that way. Maybe they were a friend, a partner, someone that you had bared your whole emotions and feelings in front of, and they'd done you over. Anger is also a reaction to fear. Fear of being more than you are. Fear of holding on to something which is very significant to you. Fear that what will people say? So what does anger do? The anger itself becomes the armor. But armor is heavy. And eventually, guess what happens? It exhausts the person carrying it. If you pick up something and you hold something in your hand, if you hold something in your hand continuously and you grip it with immense grip, with strength, after a little while, your hand will start to hurt. Even though whatever you are holding is not that heavy. But because you are holding it with so much energy, so much strength, over time, it becomes difficult. That's exactly the state of an angry person. Because continuously, you are in that state. You are carrying it all the time. You become exhausted. Islam recognizes the destructive potential of uncontrolled anger. Look what I've just said. I've just said uncontrolled anger. Anger is a natural emotion of a human being, is the natural state of a human being. All human beings get angry. And people who say, I don't get angry, they're lying. That's exactly what it is. But Islam recognizes uncontrolled potential, the destructive potential of uncontrolled anger. But if anger is trained, is worked upon, in fact, it becomes the most powerful, one of the most powerful fuels and energies behind doing some of the most greatest works on earth, in helping, supporting, caring, building some of the most profound architectures, and helping humanity and different groups of humanity, animals and creatures around the world. Because it's that feeling, that motivation, that fire in the belly, which makes us create change. The Holy Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, the sacred model himself, repeatedly advised people not to become consumed by anger, meaning the red mist, which is uncontrolled anger. Okay? Not because anger never appears, no, but because anger clouds judgment. A person who is angry, ghadib, someone who holds anger, his state becomes a state of madness. He becomes in a state where he doesn't know many a times what is he saying, how is he saying it, and who is he saying it. And the moment the red mist diminishes, oh my God, I should have not said that, I should have not done that, I can't believe it, I hurt someone in this way. And let me share with you, many a times, men who partake in antisocial behavior, or they turn up at the police station, or they turn up being disciplined, it originates from uncontrolled anger. Now, let me share something with you. Anger itself has this ability to cloud judgment. In our Islamic tradition, the scholars within our tradition often describes anger as a fire that first burns the vessel containing it. You suffer before anyone else does. It impacts you first. Those individuals that want full control over a situation, their children are not listening to them, their partner is not aware of their circumstances, and they feel that they need to be. Why aren't they doing this? And why aren't they engaging in this? And I've asked them to do this, I've given them a clear plan, and they're not practicing and they're not putting into practice. That affects the person first, psychologically, mentally, physically, and of course, spiritually. Forgiveness is not always reconciliation. Forgiveness is releasing your attachment to the poison. Wow. Now, this is significant. You know, when someone has wronged you, someone's hurt you, someone has taken something away from you which was very significant to you as a person. They've hurt someone that you love, you care for. They've taken something which is very important and personal to you. No one is saying forget that. What we're saying is to remove the poison. And what forgiveness is the release and the releasing of your attachment to the poison. And what's the poison doing? Not hurting the person who's hurt you, but in fact is hurting you as a person. A great mystic and a great scholar of his time, Ibn Ata'Allah Sakandari, said, may Allah be pleased with him, nothing benefits the heart more than withdrawing from what distracts it from his Lord Almighty. Resentment is one of those distractions. It is. When you hold anger towards someone, you forget the secret of God. Why am I consuming so much time to this human being, when in reality, I could be looking at myself and bettering myself and creating that relationship with my own Lord Almighty. Now, let me give you something practical to help you to deal with maybe some aspects of your unresolved anger. Identify the source of your anger. You need to do that. Sit down with yourself. Quietly think about it. Why do I snap? What's the reason? Is it the person in front of me that they've said or done something? But what are they triggering? Is it your honor, your status, your position, your name? What is it? What are they triggering? What are they? You've been hurt, you've been abused, you've been wronged. There's an underlying wound, right? Which needs to be healed. And that's when unresolved anger becomes something which you have more control over. Let me give you another practical way to deal with this. Write down the loss underneath the anger. Write it down. Talk to yourself about it. Reflect over it. And then you can resolve it. Because what are you doing? You are giving it a name. Because many a time the anger is the symptom. It's not the cause. And what we tend to do, we look at the symptom, we forget about the cause. The cause is significant. If you can get to the core of the issue, you can resolve it and move away from it. And number 3, seek healing rather than revenge. Now, this is difficult for a lot of us. When someone has hurt you deeply, I know that feeling. I know the feelings from people who are more superior than me, more powerful than me. Men who use their position, right, and power to hurt people who are at a lower position. They will use their money, they will use their wealth, they will use their influence to get the maximum benefit, and the person at the bottom will be squashed or kicked or removed. It happens. Even then, there is a process of healing. No one is saying you will suddenly become a person who is caring and forgiving and doesn't have that emotion anymore of revenge. No, it's a process. It's a journey. No one is saying you will do it overnight. Let me give you this question. And this question is to yourself. What anger have you been carrying that is now costing you more than the original wound? What anger have you been carrying that is now costing you more than the original wound? I want you to think about that. Today, when you are in your bed, when you are sleeping, or when you are going to go to sleep, and you take a few minutes out and you're going to think to yourself this exact question which I've just asked you. My beloveds, I'm very grateful that you listen to these words and reflect. Until next time, stay aware, stay honest, and continue becoming the man and woman you were created to be. Please find your sacred.